Liron and K hapa. Ni aje mtu wangu?
Sambamba.
Hey, temperature imeshuka.
Kabisa. Juzi ilikuwa imepanda bana. Unajua hii story mimi naichukulianga personal sana.
So today we are going to continue with the same conversation.
Okay.
Of accountability, of where we come from and how to change the narrative, right?
Okay.
So, tuliongea, we talked a lot about what other immigrants, how they do things better than us, right? And we got to the point where we were talking about our people, us not being, you ended up saying that our people are not, hawana umoja, they do not have the togetherness that we need to be having, right?
Yeah.
So, moving on from there, yeah? I need that passion that you had.
I thought umesema nilikuwa na...
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. It was really, I loved it.
Nimejipoesha sasa najifanya mtu mzuri.
Yeah, I love that passion, the one that you had that time.
Yeah.
Now I know which buttons to press. Anyway, so how come people, we as immigrant parents, we are too cautious, or as too cautious to show our kids where we come from, and for them to be able to talk to them about where we came from, and for them just to understand our history, right?
Yeah.
But we let them be educated and be told of where they are living, of what is going on there, and being educated of that history, that we are afraid that they're going to have kind of a crash,
Yeah.
Yet, I don't have the statistics, but it is common knowledge that the Asians, the Arabs, and even the Mexicans are still very successful with two kind of cultures. So, what is it that we are doing? We are not doing right. What can we borrow from these people for our kids also to continue learning where we come from? Like you mentioned, even in Nairobi, a lot of the kids are talking English.
Yeah.
Atuongei hata sijui kama sheng kama iko ni sheng nyingine nasikia sijui ni yako, lakini kama unataka kuwa cool wewe unaongea. The cool ones wants to always
wanaitwa mababi.
Yeah, they always want to be English. Some don't even know what trendsetters.
Yeah.
Apart from, and I'm happy that like people we see like kina Mkurugenzi, kina what is his name, kina Kabinye, all those people now. People are trying to, they are talking more of our language, and they have a huge following. That is a change in narrative, right? So tutafanyaje? What are we going to do here now as immigrants? Because now we are talking about a whole different population. What are we going to do?
Best thing you can do, funza mtoto wako. People are not ready to come together as a person to go and teach their kids. Like, look at it this way. When you are growing up, unge mess up pahali, that parent could immediately tell you. Na anakuambia wengine walikuwa nasema walikuwa napigwa, hata si tumepigwa, lakini some parents hawakuwa na use physical whatever. Alikuwa tu anawaita na watoto wake, anawaambia next time ukifanya hivi nyinyi nitawashtaki. Nitaambia your mom and dad what you're doing, ama your mom what you're doing, your dad what you're doing, And we grew up as community kids. That's why maybe we are what we are today. But our kids today, my friend cannot tell my kid anything. Hata huyo mtoto mwenyewe atafura. Who
are you to tell me?
So I think it's a hard topic, and it's something that I know we can talk about it
For years.
for years.
So the saying that it takes a community is no longer that.
If there is no community, nothing is going to happen. That's why nimekuambia it is hard.
And that's why I'm saying when people say, oh, it takes a community to bring up a child, it's no longer that.
No.
It takes an individual
To bring up a
child. Yeah.
Weng'ang'ana na wako.
Yeah. Especially for us.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what we were talking about last time. The communities that I talked about, the Asians, the Mexicans, and the Arabs, they are a community. They live in a community. They live in even if they're not living in a house, one household where all of them live.
Yeah.
They live in a neighborhood. You can even tell some of the places that we have gone here. You'll find it's them. That all the neighbors.
They can even buy you out.
Yes, they will buy you out.
Yeah, so that they remain.
Yes, because they want that community that they're able to know that culture is propagated within their people. That even when your child comes from home, they can go in someone else's house and they feel they're at home.
At home.
Yeah.
You know, like even let's say, for example, today here where we stay, we don't have anyone from our community living near us. So if you have a kid, a small kid who needs daycare or something, you have to take that kid to a daycare that is of this system. What that kid is gonna learn there is mambo ya hapa.
Anakuwa
Wewe unakuja tena unaanza kumwambia baadaye unataka ajue mambo ya huko. Na wale watoto wamegrow na unajua kids learn from other kids and they listen to other people more than you and I.
Sasa umeanza kuongea kama mhenga.
Bas, yep.
Now we are getting on the right on the right path on changing the narrative or wanting to change the narrative.
Wisdom is not learned.
And then what can we do? You know, like you're saying, pali tunaishi, hata sisi tuseme tu, hata sisi tumejitenga kwa sababu ulipata watu kama wanajitenga, si ndio? Hata sisi tumejitenga. In fact, kama sio family, kama sio family au watu wengine wenye wako, bado there's some form of distance. Someone doesn't need to tell you. You can feel there's a form of distance, there's a form of lack of inaitwaje kuingiana in a way.
Unajua ile yani ni kama familyhood. Ile someone, you know, if someone comes and knocks in our door there and they did not say they're coming, I wouldn't take offense. Nitafurahi because najua at least ametufikiria na anakuja kutujulia hali. But hiyo ni kitu haifanyiki. You know, you have to give notice, which I understand because watu wengine hapa mkiwa hapa watu wako busy. So saa nyingine unaweza walk to someone's house na hayuko. You know, so I understand. But there's a way we can make a community out of what we have and who we are.
Yes.
And tukue na urahisi wa kuwa pamoja, si ati kuna mahali na kuja nikifika mahali nikitaka kukuongelesha niko na mipaka siwezi pita. You know, you feel like kuna mahali unafaa uweke boundaries.
Kuna utangano fulani.
Hiyo sasa hiyo. Unajua our system yenye tuligrow nayo ni system ya bosses na you know ya mashindano.
Yeah.
When we were growing up tulikuwaga na number 1 na number last kwa shule. These people walikuwa hata wanapewa zawadi wakiwa kule juu. We went to other education facilities like college, universities. The same thing continued. Kila mtu anataka kuwa the best out to do the other one. We come to life, the same thing is happening. I want to be seen like I'm doing better than you. You know, some people even will fake it to you know.
And that is something good to think about. And I'm happy that you brought it up because that's the same thing that I'm saying, that it's good to be accountable and say, okay, fine, this is how we were. This is how we were brought. This is the result of how we were brought up or the education system that we were brought up,
Yeah.
yes, we acknowledge. Then what?
Put down all that stuff. Hizo vitu tulikuwa za mashindano na nini na nini, because it doesn't help me or you. You know, mi tukianza kushindana na nini, you know, hata vidole za mikono hazitoshani. Lazima kuna moja ni fupi, nyingine refu, nyingine
na zote zinafanya
kazi yake
pamoja.
That's why unaambiagwa hata wale vijana wa huko ushago waheshimu sana ukipita, sababu hao wadosi wenye unakaa nao hawatakuzika. Hao ndio wenye wanapelekaga mtu chini. So kila mtu ako na nini kwa maisha yako, mahali popote unaenda. So hata kukaa to be like a community, we have first to respect everyone. You know, like it is not about what you do for a living. Wewe ndio ufanye ile kitu unafanya. Hiyo dola hainanga, ukileta yako haina matope sababu ulishinda kwa matope. Hii au mwingine sababu ulishinda, you know, dola ni dola. Shilingi ni shilingi.
Yeah.
What you do is your problem.
Yeah.
And what you do, I can come in and be of help to help you.
Someone knows something you don't know.
Even
do you know
the layman? The story of a layman. A layman is someone who doesn't know anything, and he can nothing about what you're doing, but he can just be seated there, and you're looking for something that he is seeing, but you are not seeing it.
And I think that also brings the analogy. I don't know who talked about. They said you need to have different people in your lives. You need to have an older person in your life. You need to have someone who is your age mate or age set in your life, and you need to have younger people in your life, and you need to have a child in your life. Have you ever listened to a child, even your own child? Sometimes they give you an idea and you're like, you know what, I am so closed-minded because this is how I've been thinking that I have not been able to see it in their eyes. Being open-minded is probably one of the best things to move from that history of you saying this is how I was, this is the history, this is how I was brought up, there is nothing I can do about it. It's just saying, okay, fine. In fact, you have a base to know. You don't want to go back to that place that you were that now you know something better that you can work on and say, oh, well, I've come, for instance, you've come to this country, there are a lot of things that you have learned over time that you probably would never have learned if you stayed in your own country, right? But how do you integrate that? Both of those things, pick whatever is good from each one of them and, you know, merge them to come up with something wonderful.
This in life, when you want to see new things happen, you have to be an open book.
Open-minded.
Open-minded, learn from everyone that is around you. In life, if you think maybe the people you left behind or the people we left home, we are talking of our people here, our brothers and sisters here. Some of them, they've decided I will not go back home. Some of them, they don't want anything to do with home. Well and good.
And that's okay, yeah.
That's your choice. But if you still think that is where you came from and you belong there, and that is not even thinking, you are. You came from there.
It's your motherland.
It's your motherland.
Yes.
You should protect that motherland like you protect your heart. Yeah. Because sometimes we saw when COVID came, people were, some countries I don't want to mention, immigrants were being pushed out. If you don't have anywhere to go and go back to, what will you do?
True.
We have to think about tomorrow. We have to think about how we are also living with the people, other people. If we work as a community, I'm telling you, we will go far. If we work as individuals, we will think we are going far, but we are not going far. Kidole kimoja hakimvunji chawa.
Yeah. What does that mean in English?
One finger cannot break the lies. Lies ama rise ama kuna misemo ni tofauti. Misemo ya Kiswahili na ya Kizungu ingiana.
I know that meaning is lost in translation.
Yeah, so that one we keep it.
Yeah, meaning is lost in translation. So it is about time for us to start talking about this. I know there are people who are talking about it, but everybody needs to start talking about us changing the narrative and just saying, okay, fine, we need to change this perception. I know people are like, oh, we are in tender, you know, and it still goes back to that issue of I want to be fast, I want to be the best, I want to be this, but tutakuwa huko, tutashinda hapo. We will be talking. Find the people who want to move with you forward, right? And then go with them. Let people who want to join you as you go, right?
Because hamwezi enda njia moja nyote.
Yeah. In
fact, even the discussion we have now, not everyone will appreciate.
Of course.
I will not stop talking about it because someone somewhere will appreciate it.
True.
Even if it's 2 people,
yes.
1 person, at least.
Of the 50 people who are following, which is good enough.
21, 50, 40, whatever. Whoever itamsaidia, that's the person we are talking to.
Yes.
The person who will feel offended, pole.
So it is about taking accountability of where we came from and saying, well, it could have been good. Take the good. Go on with the good. And
I get annoyed when I talk about our home, you know, Kenya, and some people will tell you, ukikakaa hiyo maneno itaisha. Please don't tell me that because itaisha. Mimi ni mzalendo. Mimi ni mzalendo.
Wewe ukikakaa hiyo mambo yako ya kila saa itaisha. Wewe ngoja tu.
Miaka ngapi ingekuwa itaisha? I am proud of who I am. I am proud of where I come from. And that's why hata nikiwa na nyinyi nawaambiaga hata tukiwa mahali nje, wacha tuongee Kiswahili. When we talked Kiswahili sometime back when we were having a dinner somewhere, someone came to us and they were like, yo, that I want to learn that.
And that is the thing, that even when like the incident that we were talking about, Kayla talking Swahili on the bus with that other girl, is it just like continue talking. Because people will start want to know what you're saying. Because when you get shut down, then that means no one will know.
Can I tell you something?
No one will know what you're talking about, or no one will know what language you're talking. You know, like I like when I'm at work, I'll always teach somebody a Swahili word, and then they'll be like, the next day they'll be like, what was that word again? What was that name again? As you continue talking about it, they want to know, right? And that's the only way that we'll get to that level that people will start accepting. I know people are learning Swahili, like in Africa, they're like in East Africa, everybody now wants to learn even Swahili. And South Africa, I know, if they are learning it, why can't we? Mbona tusianze kuongea ndio mtu hata akisikia sahi nikiongea hiyo lugha anaweza identify, hata kama hajui unasema nini anaweza sema I think that's Swahili, kwa sababu sahi hata mtu akiongea Spanish utajua hiyo ni Spanish. French utajua, Chinese utajua Chinese or Korean or whatever, utajua it's one of those languages.
Unajua saa zingine unaangaliaga those people when they are talking and they don't care and you're there, I'm like, I think I should talk more of my language so that the other person wants to know what. Ni mara ngapi nimekuja nika Google nini the Spanish what the person was saying. Because even saa zingine unaita mtu akufanyie kazi anakuambia na Kispanyola. Unabidi umwekee simu.
You translate, and
they don't care. Sijaona ati
it's about being proud and of where you come from, right?
That is the thing we lack. We are not proud enough of where we come from. That's why we are very quick to take other people's position, try languages, and we move with them like they are ours. But truth be told, if I speak my language today and someone feels offended, I am very happy because it is his ignorance. He doesn't know in any another language but one.
Yeah. True. How many languages do you know? 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at least even if someone says you have an accent today, I tell them because I can speak an extra language.
Yeah. That is true. So let's try and be accountable of where we come from, what we have learned over time, see what we can change with our narrative, and not just say, getting stuck on
work this as a community.
Not getting stuck on where you came from and not wanting to change. And change is the only constant thing. You need to change and pick things that will improve our lives and our community.
Hata kama your community man anauza mutura, endeni mukule hiyo mutura.
Yes.
Next to a big 5-star. Kuleni hiyo mutura yake. You making this guy, you elevating your person. And by elevating that person, ata elevate mwingine na mwingine. You know? But wakati una spend your earning to a person that doesn't understand mahali umetoka na vile maculture zako, kwa sababu sisi tunafanya tuko culture ya hapa, but kikiumana tunakuwa wa Kenya tena.
And that drives me crazy too. I'm like, why? It's okay when everything is good,
tuko sawa.
But when things are thick is when you remember,
tuko Kenya sasa.
I'm like, we need to be together, irrespective.
I'm we have people who have a purpose to, come together, and I respect them. Even men here, they go together na wanaongea, and it helps.
Yes.
Especially
because you need like we say, there is something so different when you talk to somebody who understands what you're talking about and how you feel. Like we were saying, meaning is lost in translation. There is something I can talk about in Swahili or in Kikuyu that will have such a deep meaning that even if I tried to translate it into English, it won't come out the same way.
That's why wahenga walisema uzuri wa mkakasi ndani kipande cha mti.
Basi tufunge na hiyo. And with that,
adios.
Bye.